Hello everyone and welcome to the Creative Noelan podcast. Casual and meaningless are everywhere right now, but real connections are rare. And finding those connections in a world that seems increasingly disconnected is what the podcast is all about. It's what I'm all about. And it's a little unusual, but when you feel that connection, sometimes you just have to act. And this episode is the epitome of that idea. Completely unplanned, just two humans who the universe aligned in a city of over 2 million people and who found a connection through honesty, vulnerability, art, darkness, and the beauty that can be found in some of that darkness. I believe that everything is connected and that I was always supposed to meet the guest that's on this episode. He's a creator, a graphic designer, he draws, he's a DJ, a music producer, and he has his own record label. And he uses all of these ways to express himself creatively. But this episode isn't about the work as such. It's more about two people connecting through vulnerability, honesty, and openness. We get deep on this one. We talk about the journey and we discuss difficult topics like grief and loss, and how leaning into some of those harder emotions and connecting to the deeper side of ourselves is often where you'll find the most beautiful stuff. We discuss living in the moment, resilience, and how we have to keep going no matter what happens in life because we are the art. There's no such thing as coincidence, and the universe put us together when we needed to meet. Two like-minded souls finding connection through art and experiences, and essentially that's what the podcast is all about. He doesn't call himself an artist, he's an expresser, and his name is Lolo. Let's get into it. Lolo, gracias por hacer el podcast Creative Noelan. Y lo siento, pero mi español es tan malo que tendremos que hablar en inglés, si posible.
Es posible.
Perfect. Gracias. Shall we go to English?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Lolo, thank you for doing the Creative Noelan podcast.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is a very strange one, and I guess we should explain to
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that Lolo and I don't really know each other, but me being me, I am in Barcelona currently, and I saw Lolo drawing in a gallery, so of course I went to speak to him. We found a mutual connection through art, through darkness, and finding beauty in some of that. We spoke, and as everyone who listens to this podcast knows, this is a lot about connection. And we found a connection, so in the spirit of being random and spontaneous, I invited Lolo to come on the Creative Noelan podcast and talk a little bit about his life. So where do you think we should start, man?
Well, we spoke so many things yesterday and today, maybe walking here. So, yeah, it's quite difficult. I would like to start saying, if it's okay, that I would like not to talk myself, not as an artist, but more or less like an expressor that uses art as a language so I can express myself.
So you don't consider yourself an artist?
Not much. I don't think I am a fully developed artist in any branch of art. Yeah.
But yet, when we met, I found you in a gallery drawing, doing art.
That's right.
But how would you describe, you say an expressor, so how does that manifest? How does that look? I want you to explain why I've got you on, because it manifests in lots of different ways. It's not just creating art, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not only creating art, it's more or less, I don't know, lots of artists in history of humanity, I don't know, Michelangelo, Van Gogh, Picasso, all the people that say they're artists. Other people say they are artists, like you don't say yourself you're an artist. It's not, that's why I don't call myself an artist. It's because, I don't know, I found art maybe in my childhood, and I think that lots of people have problems with connecting with other persons, like in a community, and they somehow, not all of them of course, but somehow find art as a way of expressing themselves.
And how did you find art?
I don't know, I was born in my house, and there was always.
I suppose I'm sorry to interrupt, but I suppose we should say, we're in Barcelona, but you're originally from Uruguay.
Right. So I am from Montevideo, Uruguay. Yeah, I moved here 2 years and a half, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so I just thought we better clarify that, so we give the listeners some perspective.
I'm from Uruguay.
These two random guys that just have a conversation. So you've been in Barcelona for 2 years, but in Uruguay, you just found art in childhood.
Yes.
Just naturally. What did that art look like?
In my childhood, I think I had some bad things in my childhood. Some, I wouldn't say trauma, but some things that made the life a bit complicated. My father died when I was 3 years old. Then my mother got married again when I was 12, maybe 11, 12. And this guy died again. So my mom was always working 8 hours to take care of her two kids. So in lots of moments, I block things and hide myself behind art. There was always like a pencil and a paper in my house. I can maybe recall a situation, something my mother teach me. We were at this dentist or something like in a waiting room, and I was annoyed to be there. I didn't want to be there. And then my mom just grabbed a magazine from the table, gave me a pen and told me, hey, draw something to the face of this politician, or maybe a model was there, I don't know. Just draw something. I just did this, I draw like a hat, a mustache, some glasses. And every time I went to this, I just draw something in a magazine of this place.
So every time they're looking in the waiting room, there's like,
all the drawings.
Why does this woman have a mustache?
Yeah. And it's a small example, but this made like a waiting room something very bearable. So in some way, you can say art or expression, let's say, saved me in that moment or in worse moment for sure.
Are you okay talking about that? Does your father and your stepfather's death come across in some of the work that you're creating? Are you realizing that as a young child, or is that from looking backwards?
Yes. I think in my early childhood, I had some social problems, I couldn't socialize with much people. So I stayed at my place, like drawing. And then when I grew up and the second marriage of my mother died, I failed that course in school. And my teacher said, hey, where's your homework? And I didn't wrote anything, any number or any letter. And they failed me.
Was that because of you were going through grief and you just
didn't knew at the moment, but after lots of psychologists, stuff, they realized that I was going through a bad episode in my life and I couldn't concentrate in school. But there was one psychiatrist here in this school, a visionary. He realized that, yes, I was failing because of the school system, not because of my problems in my life. So he came with this system, this new system, that I needed to bring my homework in drawing instead of writing.
Wow.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I was quite didn't understand much at the start, but the teachers could adapt well to this. So I bring the Napoleon stuff, draw all the history class, draw it.
I see. So instead of doing the writing or the essay format, you'd present, say, the history of Napoleon in an expression of drawings and art.
Yeah. This worked maybe for 2 years.
That is kind of visionary.
It is. And I think it helped also younger students that had myself problems that didn't want to socialize much or...
So was it a system that the school implemented after you?
Yeah, it was like the rat lab, maybe. But it was great for me. I saved the year and I saved the next one. But yeah, then these drawings were posted there in the hallway so other people can see them. It was very intelligent from him, and thank you a lot. Roberto Balaguer is the guy that invented this system.
How did he know that you had a talent for drawing? Were you in class just...
I was always drawing, man. Always drawing characters and world of fantasy in my books and my notebooks. Yeah, always. And I did actually fail another course. I failed one in secondary school and another in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and the high school was the last year of this school, let's say. But I was 18 at that moment, so I needed to go to university. In my country, at 18, you finish school and you go to university. But this was the second year I failed, so I was behind 2 years. So I went to a night school. So I
Right.
was there with these old people, not old, like grown at 40 years coming from work, or maybe a girl was pregnant there. And I was with them, having class,
So you were doing
night school.
night school as well as the school that you were doing in the day?
In the morning, I entered a technic high school.
Okay.
So you didn't need to finish high schools to go to this place. My mom told me, you're not going to be a drawer. You can't work on being a drawer. So I got into graphic design, that it was like the shape form of a drawer or a expressor in somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Did that seem like a natural progression to you from the art that you were creating to go into something that was graphic design, shall we say, is more practical in its use? It's more problem solving than it is expression?
In some way, the graphic design like ordered my mind, let's say. It gave like form, shape,
Structure.
order, structure. Yes, like all the graphics, all the drawings started like falling into these spaces where everything was okay, And
Did your mind not feel like that then?
my what?
Did your mind not feel like that while before graphic
Maybe
design?
maybe not. I don't know.
I'm trying to, because I'm looking at some of the work that you've created in the
Yeah.
drawing formats that I've seen. Obviously, we've shared some of your work,
Of course.
and there is a darkness and
Yes.
an energy to the drawings, shall we say? It
Yes.
seems very free and sporadic. And
Yes.
does graphic design pull that into structure?
Maybe
Because
yes.
I think what I'm trying to say is your mother's guided you towards a technical thing because we all understand that potentially you can't make money as a drawer, as an artist, the starving artist. So that's the same thing as in Uruguay. It's universal, right?
Yeah, sure.
Don't be an artist. You'll be living in
Under a bridge.
Under a bridge.
Yeah. I think I wasn't conscious at this moment that this was happening, but I think me and also lots of artists in the history of the world had like some kind of trauma or weird childhood. I wouldn't say mine was like this of horrible. It was very variable. I had lots of cousins and everything was right.
But can you say that because now you're older?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You've
can
dealt
say
with it, like you say, you've done the work on yourself, which we
Yes.
all need to do
I did.
to address.
I still
of-
fight my demons, but yes, part of the way.
But
is
you
that-
have warriors inside to help you fight your demons
For
because
sure.
you've built
For
that
sure I have.
resilience. And this is part of the reason we connected. We spoke about this, the darkness, and we've both got that love of embracing the
Mhm.
darkness and not being afraid of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Does that come from, I hate to say it, but your experiences as a child? You've been through some very dark stuff and you've come out the other side
Yeah.
more resilient.
I think I did. I think I don't see it today as a bad thing. I see it more like a blessing. This thing that happened to me connected for sure with my creativity side and with my inside me, my deepness. And it made me do like so much dark art. And
Is that how you would describe the work that you create? In that drawing sense, it's dark.
Not now. I mean, I try to use lots of different way of expression. That's why I can call myself an expressor. But at that moment, I was more into drawing more dark stuff or bizarre art. Yeah, drawings that were a bit of disgusting or maybe some near to porn. Yeah, dark, black and white.
Do you have idea where those images are coming from then?
Not really.
No.
Not really, but maybe of a dark feeling I felt when I was
Yeah.
a childhood. I don't know, maybe, yes.
But it's interesting because you've got that dark feeling and that melancholy, but there's also that romantic in you, I think. Because when we met at the gallery, I was drawn to a couple of pieces and they were yours. And there was lots of text involved and they were very much about love and loss and passion. And again, that's where I think the connection lies. We're two dark souls, but inherently romantic underneath.
Well, yeah, it's cheesy saying it, but there's no light, there's no dark. Yeah, everybody knows that. So I think if you want to make good art or if you want to express yourself, you should get like fully connected with your feelings, and maybe like some traumatic things in your childhood can connect you with that.
As an expresser,
Yeah.
have you ever had any problems with the things that you want to express? Felt vulnerable or?
Yeah, maybe, but in words, not in expression with artistic ways. No, never. I would like to draw anything or express in any way, but connecting, talking, or expressing myself with words was difficult. Like that's the common language, you know.
I've found that with many other guests that have been on the podcast, they say the same thing. It's often easier for them to express through their art, but to be asked to talk about that art or try and
It's
explain what they're
difficult.
feeling.
It's difficult.
So should we go back? We should give some structure to this, shouldn't we? Should we go back? So you studied graphic design.
Yeah.
Because that was the road. You can make money, you can do jobs, you can do these things. You're studying graphic design in Uruguay. Where do we go from there?
Well, that's where my path in expression started to take a bit more. I started using like softwares. I started expressing myself in with other techniques. I added video, animation, digital art, all my drawings in the traditional way, started to process them in a software. And also there is the music. I started music production and electronic music.
Where does that love of music come from?
I don't know, but I did try some drugs in 1920 or something like this. And I think like my senses with music woke up.
Yeah, open.
They opened, yes.
What experiences did you have with drugs that you felt opened you up potentially? Not necessarily to music, to be an expressor.
To connect myself a lot. Like which drugs I took? Or...
Well, we don't necessarily need a list, but were there any? I mean, we spoke on the way over about you doing ayahuasca.
Yes.
Yourself up to
ayahuasca was like the
final boss.
Yeah,
of
final
drugs.
stage. Let's say
the final boss
final
of
stage.
Drugs.
I just followed this colleague from my high school to a weird party I'd never been, and I found like a lot of people like so freedom, so nice, so kind. And I started with some hallucinogens and everything that I tried, like MDMA, ecstasy, and everything. I started to connect with the things I was drawing at the moment, you know, and I started to create like this universe of characters. I was like flipping with this universe I made of aliens that extract the woman from the earth and bring them to another planet where the aliens were playing music and the girls were dancing. And the aliens would just play music. They didn't do anything weird. but I have tons of drawings of that era.
Yes, the psychedelics definitely took a hold. But that then opened you up to feel freer to start creating, playing music?
Yes, I understand music like in so other ways. I listened, you know, pop, hip hop, rock, cumbia. There's cumbia in Uruguay. But then I started, after electronic music and after drugs, I started listening to jazz, experimental, I don't know, house, techno, drum and bass, folk, indie, like a lot of things that I never saw them, you know, understand the texture of the sound. And when I fully understand how music was, I started seeing that the techniques that you use to create the music are the same techniques that you use when you draw and the same techniques that you use when you dance.
Can you say more? What do you mean by that?
That you're not like an artist, you are an expressor, and the art is the way you use to express yourself. And there are lots of ways of art, and you just need to know the technique. And you have contrast in photography. You have contrast music. When the bass drops, there's a contrast with no rhythm and rhythm. I don't know, colors, black brush and the white brush, you have contrast. You know, everything is connected. And you just need to know how to express yourself and know these techniques and then express yourself. And that's it. And that is going to become like your new language. Yes. And I call myself that. I call myself an expressor, not an artist.
Well, it seems that way. There's graphic design, drawing, music. So you DJ, you make music, you make art.
I also did graphic design for inner labels of records that I put music on it. So it's like everything is connected.
Everything is connected.
Yeah,
but that's what I think as creatives, we often forget that we are multifaceted. We have many skills. Yes. But we put ourselves into a box of, like I have for 25 years. I'm a photographer. I couldn't possibly do a painting. I'm a photographer, I couldn't possibly do a sculpture. I'm a photographer, I couldn't possibly do a poem.
Exactly.
Whereas I realized that's not the case. I've always been a creator. I guess similar to you, I've always been an expresser. And that's where the connection comes. It's so interesting to me that I've met a similar soul that's sort of like, yeah, I just like to express.
It takes so much weight off your shoulder. Say, become an artist, you know, like what is an artist? I don't know. I think also, I just want to say something. Like, of course, you can go into Google and look what's the definition of art. But I think that the people that are more really into art and expression, there is somehow, or in one moment of their life, they like make their own definition of art, because every expressor has their own story with art, or art help them to go through stuff, or art help them to whatever. So you just may make your own definition of art that suits you.
We are the art.
We are the art, yeah.
Okay, so you're an expresser. But how do we get from Uruguay to Barcelona, where this weird guy walks into your gallery where you're working and asks you to be on a podcast? And in Uruguay, what are the influences, apart from the music? Are you getting influenced in terms of art, artists? Hey, sorry for interrupting. This is just a quick reminder that if you're enjoying this episode, there are a couple of really easy ways that you can support the podcast. You can hit the support the show link in the show notes, or consider grabbing yourself something from the Creative Noahland shop on the website. And don't forget, community members get free shipping on all orders. So, before you buy anything, be sure to join. Thanks again for being part of the Creative Noahland community, and now, let's get back into it.
When I started getting out from my neighborhood and getting conscious about expression, I got out of that place and that people, and started to surround myself between people that are similar to me. It's weird, but some of them has a weird childhood. So they are deeply connected to their emotions and they express through art. So I think I for sure get inspired of my friends, of my group of people that was there, that is there already. They're still there.
But were you aware of the quote unquote famous artists growing up? They weren't influenced. You weren't studying them in art class, or
no,
you're very
not much.
open to your own style, being influenced by the people around you.
Of course, you see things from there, from here. Good artists like in Europe, good artists in North America, and good artists in South America.
Who's a good artist in your eyes?
In my eyes, someone that has not made, like, it's not perfect, maybe, you know? Something when you listen to music and you hear like the voice has this noise that is not very nice when you hear it, but it's so true. It comes from the deepest part of his heart. Or when you see a painting and it's not fully perfect, you know, that's for me is good art or a good expression. Let's say the error, they're not perfect, they're wrong. Like this artist or this expressor is trying to show, they're broken. Yeah.
You're definitely drawn to the darker qualities in art.
Yes. And you should see my couples along my life. If they hadn't have this trauma in their childhood, they wouldn't be interested. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we go from studying graphic design in Uruguay to finding yourself in Barcelona?
So I did graphic design parallel to creating music, producing music and playing music, like 10 years of my life, from the 20s to 28. The Uruguay is a very small country. I wouldn't say like I reached the top, of course not, but you can see the ceiling like there. And everyone that wants a new opportunity and can leave the country, yeah, they leave to find their shop in life.
So what made you decide on Barcelona?
Barcelona is the warmest city to end up, you know, same language, weather is very good. We even have the same tiles in the streets. In Uruguay, we have the same sign.
Really?
Yeah. And we have the same tree, the tree of this yellow thing that goes into your eye. We have it here in Barcelona and also in Uruguay.
So
It's very
similar.
familiar. Yeah, it's very familiar. I don't plan to live here like all my life. I would like to find another city in Europe, expand myself.
How long have you been in Barcelona?
2 years and a half.
And what does that look like for an expresser living in Barcelona? Can you tell me a little bit about your life and how you live, how you work, how you make your money as an expresser?
I had this job as a graphic designer in Uruguay, and they told me quit, come here, and we will hire you again. So I came with that promise, and didn't happen. I came here to be more developed in music and also design, of course. But graphic design didn't went very well. There's a lot of jobs here of graphic design, and there's a lot of people trying to get into these jobs. You see a job application, and there's 500 people per.
Really?
Yeah, it's madness. So
was that difficult? Bearing in mind you'd reached a ceiling point in Europe.
I didn't reach a ceiling. I was seeing a ceiling.
Okay.
I would never put myself in that position. There's always a place to grow.
Yeah. But was that harder moving to a city in England? We have a phrase, a small fish in a big pond.
I wasn't a whale in Uruguay. I was a big fish, maybe. And here I am like just, how do you say, the baby of a frog?
Yeah. Tadpole.
A tadpole. I forgot a tadpole.
It's not even a fish.
But it's very interesting. I mean, that means that there's a lot more way to go. There's much more to grow. So at that moment where I wasn't able to work as a graphic designer, I said, fuck it, can I say about work here?
Yeah.
Say fuck it with graphic design. I'm just going to look for a job that gives me money and let me buy records and gear so I fully go into music.
So music was, even when you came over,
music is the second stage here in Barcelona. And for my luck, I found a job where I can draw.
But there's an interesting story to how you got there, because the music got you that job, right?
Yes. I am working there because I met some people here from electronic music when I just arrived, and they were looking for a DJ to play in a live stream because a very big DJ from USA was investing in this live streaming in this gallery I never went to. And the crew of this big DJ asked for local DJs to participate. So they asked me if I wanted to go. Of course, free. They didn't pay me anything. I was happy to be playing. I just arrived in Barcelona, So I got to this gallery, very colorful, very weird. Yeah, they did a live streaming of me, and this guy played, and it was nice. A year after, I was working in this place.
And this is where we met, isn't it?
Yeah, this is where we met. In the same store.
In the same store. And it's a very interesting space. And there are now some Explore, Inspire, Create stickers in that space. But what an interesting way for you to earn your living. So
let's say I got connected to my early childhood now. So I did drawing when I was a kid, then graphic design and kind of music. Now I'm fully music and drawing again. More or less.
So was there a time when you didn't really draw?
I mean, I was always connected to drawing while I was doing graphic design. I had this kid, I was a personal teacher to him. How to say personal teacher? Yeah.
Tutor.
I was a tutor for this 10-year-old kid, and I was teaching him on how to draw. He has these drawings, so he was the same as me when I was a kid, has these books with drawings of him, of characters and stuff. It didn't have this form yet, so everything was rusty. So I tried to, not to teach him, but just to have fun with drawing and express ourselves with drawing.
Giving back to somebody else.
Exactly. So there's a say, you're always gonna one day be something to someone. Somebody was for you once.
Oh my God, Lolo. It's so interesting you say that, because we've had this connection. We spoke about why we've got this connection. I'm going through some stuff at the moment. I put it as, I have grown into the man that I needed when I was a kid.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that
You are the man that
I'm the man that I needed when I was a kid.
Right.
Do you think that's the person that you are now? Like you say, you're giving back to you're giving back to a young person with your creativity. You want to have that influence. You want to be a positive inspiration.
Yeah.
And like we said about the podcast, is only about inspiring people to try and do the stuff that inspires them. We've got one life. We have to live it.
Yeah, you're right. Yes,
Have I put you on?
I mean, I never thought if I am the man I would like to be when I was a kid, but I am very happy of what I am and what I have become, for
But-
sure.
Okay, different question.
Yeah.
At the age you are now, what would you say to the younger you?
Keep on going.
Yeah.
Just don't change anything.
Yeah.
Fuck it up, miss it, fail courses, keep on your drawing.
No regrets.
No regrets at all. No regrets at all.
It's interesting, isn't it? When we
Yeah.
go through these dark
I think-
times to reflect on those.
But I told you it was a blessing for me. Now
Yeah.
I can see it. Now I can see it, of course. I mean, it was maybe traumatic for a person people that were like next to me. I know they did it with lots of love, but I don't know, my mom, man, she's a warrior. She tried to find a place to this weird brain of mine.
Is that why you had some therapy and things?
Yeah, I
like
did 12 years of therapy
Wow.
with the same person. Then the school said, hey, this therapy is not working. So I jumped between 5 or 6 different psychologists in 1 year, then came back to the same one. I don't know. I did a lot of therapy in my life.
Do you think there was a breakthrough, or do you think there's something that you learned from doing all that therapy?
Yes. I learned to observe myself. I learned to think about myself and study myself if I am wrong or not, or if I am true or not. Yes.
I think that's important. And I've
sure.
done a little bit of therapy as well. And I think it's that idea that sometimes we know so much to know why we're right, but we don't know enough to know why we're wrong.
I thought about this also, and I thought of this theory I made of the relativity. Like, you are not going to be able to know so much this end if you don't go to the other side, you know? Like,
Yeah.
this is fully wrong, so now you can like know the other way so much, or
Does that go back to
appreciate the balance again, black and
Like-
white, light and darkness. Yeah, I know.
And that's where we got that connection. We've both got those dark souls, but we're both very open to leaning into that, to exploring those dark elements where I think a lot of people don't.
Don't want to go there. No, of
No.
course.
It's scary.
I also had a kind of theory there about layering the emotions in the brain of a person. Like, how is normal that the deepest emotion or the bizarre feelings or the dark feelings are always like in the most deep part of yourself? Well, to access that thing, you have to be connected to your deeper side. And that's the only way that you can extract the deeper things and bring them to the outer layer of your thing, order of layering your brain. And that is also connected to art and expression. I mean, if I am seeing a piece of art and it's disgusting or is horrible or is dark or is heavy and is connecting to my deepest feeling, and I think this expressor did hell of a good job. Yeah.
Art should emote feeling, whether it's good or bad.
Connect with my deepest in way, in good or bad. Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel like you're leading a balanced life as an expresser with your music, your design, your art, your drawing?
No, it's not a balance. They all work together. And when I understand something in one branch of art, I can translate it to other branch of art. Yeah, they're not battling. And sometimes I don't draw for a lot of time. And sometimes I don't do music for a lot of time. And sometimes I don't DJ for a lot of time. Or I don't do graphic design for a lot of time. But then I do it, you know, and it was there with me, you know, and I've been progressing creativity and ways of thinking that I can
Is that what you mean when you said things like there is contrast in painting,
Exactly.
there's contrast in music? You can
the techniques are the same. You're not losing anything if you don't do one branch of art
and you're moving fluidly between all of them.
all the time. Now I'm more into music,
Yeah.
for sure. And that's what I want to go. I want to do now, like this moment of my life.
And what does that look like in Barcelona? Are you DJing? Are you making music for other DJs? Are you playing out?
Yeah.
Are you...
Yeah, I finished up setting my studio at home. It took a while. I've been like 3 years since I wasn't making like interesting or feeling good about the music I was making. Now I am reaching, so I'm happy. I have 2 records releasing for next year.
Amazing.
Maybe, I don't know, 1 for sure, 1 maybe. Let's see. But I'm happy that this is happening, and I feel very happy in this new studio, expressing myself through music a lot. And being in Barcelona for music, electronic music is great. Is everybody's here. All the DJs from the underground are here. All the DJs want to come here.
What does that look like? Is it, I mean, I'm an old man now, but a rave scene, is it warehouse parties? What does that look like in Barcelona? Is it clubs? Is it?
There are some clubs, yes. Raves, not much, because neighbors have been being like our
the enemy of music.
Yeah. But yeah, there are very clubs that have a lot of viewers from all around the globe. I played in some of them already, so I'm happy for that and keep on growing, yeah.
And you just keep growing by playing out more, making more contact? Music.
I run a record label. I did my first release from an artist from Uruguay last year, and I'm planning to do the second one next year from a friend from Leeds.
From Leeds?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's living here now.
A friend from Leeds that lives here?
Yeah.
Wow.
He just moved. He's trying to learn Spanish.
Is he? Well, God, we should. God. I was about to say him and I should have a conversation, but no, we probably shouldn't.
He's a very deep artist. You should know him.
Really?
And I had this residency in a club that now shut down, so I don't know what I'm going to do. And I have another residency in a small club pub with my girlfriend, and we do parties there. Yeah.
Cool.
Once a month or 2 months. Yeah.
So you really are the expresser. So you've got a record label, DJ producer, graphic designer, artist. Have I missed anything else?
I draw, I graphic design, I video edit, I produce music, I do DJ.
You are the epitome of living a creative life.
I am feeling good, and I feel good around the expressionism. Yes, and I try to make my living between all of the things. None of this I can tell my job. I can live from this, but each of them brings a little bit of joy, a little bit of money, a little bit of communication with people, a little bit of.
And I don't know. We discussed. I don't know whether that's a South American thing, but previous guest on the podcast, Boxy Trixie, he was very mumuch the same. Didn't want to consider himself an artist. Was just someone trying to lead a creative life.
I think nobody wants to tell themselves they're an artist, to be honest. But it's difficult to if you compare with the old artists that painted so much realism on the ceilings, or the pyramids, or
Michelangelo was still commissioned by the Pope, so that was essentially a job for him.
Yeah, you're right.
Even though we look back and go, wow, the Sistine Chapel, and he didn't do it alone.
Yeah,
he did it with a team of people.
You're right. Yeah, I don't know. So again, I don't know why. Maybe it's something from Latin America that we are humble, and we are maybe, I don't know, we were colonizers, so we are the newest person in the world, that we feel this way. But not much, to be honest. There's a very power and influence from the Rio de la Plata energy and people and expressionists that are hitting very hard in the globe and in history of music and history of arts, for sure. La Garra Latina.
Where does that take us then? Where does that lead us? This is, as I say, quite a random episode. Anyone that knows me will know that I don't care about somebody's following. I don't care about how famous they are. There's just got to be a connection. And we found that connection. But where does your connection with all of these creative things take you next? Do you have any goals, any future goals?
Yeah, I try not to project so far, to be honest.
Why?
I want to be... Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, just to live the moment and concentrate on what's happening nowadays. And then we'll see the moment, we can improvise in the moment. Where do we go? And where do we express how do we express? I don't know.
Very fluid. Again,
very fluid.
Just able to move.
One day, somebody was trying to explain something to me, like a new technique or something, a long time ago. And I said, no, I'm not interested in it. I don't want to learn this. I'm into this now. And this guy told me, hey, don't worry, knowledge doesn't take space of your mind. It expands your mind. Yeah. He's right. Yes, I don't have bigger plans. I would like to say in this podcast that recognize yourself if you are an expressionist and you use art in a certain way to express yourself, don't be shy. Accept it. You don't need to say that you're an artist. You don't need to get to an artist level. You can say that you're an expressor and study yourself, study the deep emotions of yourself. You will find like beautiful stuff there, and you will connect with people that is very nice and feels good.
Like us.
Yeah.
That's how we connected.
Yeah, sure.
I literally read the words that you were creating and I probably took some pictures of them and I was like, oh my God, I connected that so much. And like I said to you, I'm in Barcelona for a number of reasons. One was supposed to be an exhibition of some of my work, whereas I was trying to be the expresser. But also, as I said to you, there's something about finding that connection with you. When I came to Barcelona, one of the craziest cities in the world, 2 million odd people, and I came here to try and find some clarity and some silence, and I found connection. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time that you took to be patient with my Spanish and let us connect over art and creativity and expression. And yeah, I appreciate you for doing this random jumping on the podcast.
No, it was amazing. Thank you a lot also.
And I feel like I've made a lifelong friend. Every time I'm back in Barcelona,
For sure.
I will be coming to check in with Lolo. But Lolo, do you know what we haven't done, Lolo?
Oh, what?
Giving people your actual name. Or is that, do we not tell people the government name?
Secret, yeah, no.
It's a secret.
My real name is Rodrigo Juan Sosa, but I don't use Juan. I use more like Rodrigo Lolo Sosa. Lolo is
Where does Lolo come from?
I don't know. I was born and everybody was calling me this. I think my sister made it up, and then my mother used it, and my cousin used it, and my teachers used it, and my bosses used it. And
really?
Everybody.
Everybody.
I never used Rodrigo, to be honest. Lolo is my name.
Yeah. Lolo is his name. And that seems like a good place to end the podcast. We do have a closing tradition where we ask the guest that comes on the podcast to give us a quote that inspires them, but also someone in your world, in your expressive, creative world that you think could be a good guest to come on the Creative No Land podcast in the future. And I'm guessing that'll be when I next come back to Barcelona.
Yeah, I can think about a very close friend. She is a bit of an expressor like me, for sure, but she is also like an agent of healing the time. It's very complex. Like the work he does is very complex. He lives here in Barcelona, and we met through art, actually.
What's his name?
His name is Catriel.
And he's an agent
of time. Yeah. He heals the time with spreading the word of a guy called Valum Botam, that he was the inventor of this theory of the synchronary, that it's like a different way of perceiving the time rather than the calendar.
Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds complex. I'm not going to lie.
And
my tiny brain is a little intimidated by that already.
He's huge.
Agent of time.
He has a very deep and a very unique way of life and seeing the art. And he also does a lot of expression, like apart from the agent of time thing. He does a lot of art in walls, graffitis, drawing, digital art.
Interesting.
Yes, very good.
He sounds like he'll be the perfect, interesting and inspiring guest for the Creative No Land when I come back to Barcelona.
We actually met in a workshop of painting.
Really?
Yeah, back in Uruguay.
You met the agent of time back in Uruguay?
The agent of time.
That's what I'm going to have to call him.
The agent of time.
He is the agent of time.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm intrigued to speak
Agente K.
I'm in...
Agent K.
Agent K.
Yeah, he calls himself Agente K.
Does he?
Yeah, I met the agent of time, and he's one of my best friends, to be honest.
Wow. Well, I think that could be a very interesting conversation. And what about a quote, Lolo? Have you got a quote for the creator?
I do have a quote. I don't know where did I read it or if somebody told it to me, but once I know of this, it got stuck in my head and actually helped me a lot to go through a lot of situations and think about my art. And yeah, the quote, it says, "No tree can grow to heaven unless its roots go to hell." Like more or less what we were talking now on this podcast.
Yeah, you've got to have the strength and go deeper to find the...
Exactly. Go deep, and you will right, for sure. It's a bit cheesy, but you can say there is no light, if there's no dark, it's cheesy. But if you say it like this way, it's cooler.
And it's what's really interesting
Yeah.
is you didn't know who the quote was by, did you?
Who?
It's by Carl Jung, who is the forefather of exploring the shadow, the darkness, all of those things. All of those things that we've connected on before we...
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I actually never looked it up, or maybe I did and I forgot. I don't know.
Yeah, very Jungian, and seems like a good place for us to end this very random episode of the Creative Noah Land podcast.
Very interesting.
But Lolo, gracias, hombre.
Thank you, my man.
Thanks for listening to the Creative Noah Land podcast. If you found anything in this episode useful or inspiring, please consider subscribing or sharing it with a friend. You can also help the podcast by clicking the support the show link in the show notes or by grabbing yourself something from the Creative Noah Land shop. And here's the bonus. When you join the community through our website, you'll get a special discount code that gives you free shipping on all orders. So, before you buy anything, be sure to join the community. Every bit of support helps us keep sharing these inspiring stories. So, thanks again for listening, and until next time, explore, inspire, and create.
Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. And so, therefore, it's so important to consider this question: what do I desire?